Hello and welcome to Be Water. It's Lara Bral here, and today I'm going to be interviewing Debra Josephson from Experient Explorer. Experient Explorer is a brand that Debra has developed to encourage people, women in particular, to travel the world for self-discovery. And it talks about how she's used her experiences to visually communicate her what she's seen through her love for photography. She also talks about how this has helped her and also counteracted her anxiety depressive disorder. So I found Debra extremely inspiring. I hope you do too. So enjoy the interview and I'll see you on the other side.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Alara. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. And yes, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And I did, watch a little bit of your video on YouTube to, get to know, about what you're doing. And I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. So it's still in the early stages, so it'll be interesting to know what you're doing as well. Okay, so just want to introduce you. So we have Debra Josephson here. Debra, can you just tell me about where you're based and what your brand is all about, please?
Okay. Yes, I will try my best. So I am currently based in Austin, Texas. I never actually, I have to be honest, there's been a lot of I nevers in my journey around the globe. And Texas is definitely one of those I never thought, because I grew up in New York, and I don't know if you know that, but people from New York say I'm a New Yorker rather than an American, and I still feel that way, just because we have a different approach, progressive thinking, and of course New York is always the city that you hear about in the news and with movies and entertainment. But how I ended up in Austin, I just want to tell briefly, is because I lived overseas several years, and we can get into specifics of all that later. But I came back and went back to school in Oregon, on the West Coast, because it is a beautiful part of the country, as well as very progressive thinking, and culturally centered as well, because they had a lot of immigration with the Asian culture, so there's a lot of dynamic there as well. And then when I finished my journalism degree there was just so much competition, because the undergraduate program is so competitive, that I took upon the adventure in myself to drive across country to a small city south of Austin to meet someone, so I could show how ambitious I am. But knowing that Austin was nearby, which is the oasis of Texas as far as progressiveness, so that's how I ended up here.
And did driving there to meet that person help?
It helped me as far as being a person who has an anxiety depressive disorder, who likes to have things naturally kind of in some sort of order before taking such a risk, or if not risk, or I would say unorthodox approach to finding work. I would say it was pretty bold for someone like myself.
So tell me a bit about your brand and how your personality fits in with your brand as well.
Sure.
Where it came from, how you developed it. What's it all about?
Well, what is it all about? All right, so my goal with my brand is, well, first of all, obviously we choose a name that reflects our goals, and as Nate and Hannah emphasized, so I took the time to think about that, and it took a little bit, not too long, but I really wanted something that shared more of a broadness. So being that I am more in age, mostly mature in the experience of living and traveling abroad, I really enjoy the word experience because it's not it's actually sometimes it comes up as an incorrect word. It doesn't come up as a word, but it is a noun, and it means someone who is experienced. And I have a lot of experience being in now photography because I have, again, that's just from the basis, I have my education in the arts. I have a BFA and an MA, but that includes drawing and painting as well. So it's visual communications overall. And then Explorer is obviously, context is travel. But I also wanted it to be not just travel because I mean, in the context of physically, going to physical places. But I am a person that explores the spirituality behind travel and photography and being a solo wanderlust woman across the globe. I really wanted to incorporate the exploration of self, not just exploration of
Places.
Thailand, for example.
Yeah.
Because I believe travel, if done as travel, not a tourist, but like as a backpacker or someone who's really authentically engaged in culture, which culture is so in my heart and soul. When you study art, culture goes hand in hand in that. So I truly want to always try to have some kind of real authentic engagement in exploring culture. And therefore, I like to put myself in situations where it allows me to have an authentic spiritual experience, putting myself out there in an uncomfortable zone to allow myself to grow as a human being. So that's where I get Experient Explorer from, because, and it basically, that's what, and I was able to come up with a good motto, which again, it's hard for me to put things into words because I am a visual communicator first, I would say, before a written or an oral. I've worked on both, obviously, because I have my degrees in journalism now too, but that's why I put explore your spirit, experience the world, because it really is hand in hand to me. You explore who you are when you're out in the world. It challenges who you are as a human being when you're not doing what is comfortable to you. So that's where my brand comes from. And of course, because I do have an anxiety depressive disorder, I am putting myself more out there with that because I really want to help with people who have those kind of challenges, because I can't even begin to tell you how challenging it is to have this disorder, because it has been a part of my life since probably your age, actually. And it's been challenging because I have to be able to learn tools and ways to approach this global lifestyle that I want with something that kind of puts you in a situation where that kind of disease wants to keep you in a small room, let's just say. So it's been, challenging for me to learn how to be what I want to be in spite of what my challenges are in my mind. So that's my brand.
I find that so amazing that you would I think that's amazing because a lot of people go traveling just be like, I have a bucket list and I want to see Barcelona, Thailand, here, and I want to go to Bali, and it's all about like seeing and taking photographs and like showing your friends. But there's actually like another aspect to traveling, and I love that you've kind of like focused in on that with your brand and kind of, it's a self-healing journey traveling, and different places you go, the different culture, like embracing that culture will teach you something different. And I think like it's great that you would want to help other people realize that as well. And my I have a lot of.
Thank you. I wish, and of course that I wish now, I can't help saying it, I'm not a person that has regrets, like I don't think that way, but I wish I knew about blogging earlier because I could have been doing it all this time instead of just doing the photography part of it. Because it's like when you're in those moments of travel and you're feeling that anxiety and you're like, oh my God, it's like boom. It's like when you're in those moments, those are the moments where it's like you can really express that. But I guess, I'm just trying to catch up a little bit on that. So I hope I can express what you're saying to other people, because that's really, the goal with it.
And how did you find that traveling helped your anxiety? Do you think it helps it, or do you think it's like they counteract each other?
Um, I have to be honest with you. I think that's a great question, and I think it is both. In the context of like, what I find amazing, I have to be honest with you, is really the people that I have to. Let me first off saying that people from Europe and people from Canada that I've met in travels are my greatest inspirations on this. Why? Because I see that it's, I have to be honest, travel is part of kind of, it's supported in the mentality of, okay, why don't we go travel before we start our university, or let me go travel after university,
it's
right?
A break.
Before I go in
It's
the real
an escape.
world. Or I'm in a job, and I've met this, I'm in a job, and they allow us, I don't know what it is, by law right now, but like I have a year to, I was allowed to get a year off to go travel, and I'm doing a bicycle tour like I did couch surfing, and I met people who were doing the world by a bike, and they created a blog, and they, and they had as long as they were doing something to support the community and prove it, they were able to go do this. I'm just saying there's a support within the certain cultures. I don't know if every culture in Europe, for example, but in general, it was inspiring for me to see what people were doing that have a culture behind them to say, hey, we see the benefits of that. And that helped me and the reason why I bring that up is that helped me overcome some of my anxiety and depressive disorders, because I'm just like, if they're able to be this spontaneous, and like a lot of them would be, they wouldn't plan every moment in their trip. Like, yes, they had an idea and a plan, but they might have stayed an extra day here or there, or they might have changed the cities they were in, or they talked to someone and they totally changed everything. And it was because of those people that helped my brain, that anxiety brain, to say, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And those were like examples of things that helped me overcome it. It's those things, it's those people, and when I would see, of course, locals in developing countries living such a, honestly, like waking up the hours they did to work and do everything that they do, and I go, you know what, they have a lot less than me, and they're doing extraordinary, they're in extraordinary circumstances. I can do what I need to do. So it was always the environments in my travels and the people that helped my brain overcome this, like, oh my God feeling all the time of, oh my God, I don't know where I'm going, I have to plan everything. And the thing is that bottom line is most people live in some sort of faith. I'm not talking about religion, but a faith that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. And
I had to start incorporating that thinking, being like, you know what? I haven't heard anyone die from just not doing exactly what I think. So I started to act as if. I just acted accordingly and just allowed the circumstances to happen, because I can't control everything. So it really has helped me. Just action-based.
Yeah.
Helped me develop faith-based.
Yeah, and sometimes just kind of like letting go can be so hard, but also it makes you live in the moment as well, which allows you to really enjoy what you're doing and to make the most out of it when you're really in the moment. And sometimes that's when you haven't planned something and you just have to kind of just take an action that you've just decided then and there. So it sounds like you have had quite a few challenges along your way, and you sound like you're smashing them as well, just getting over them. So all of these challenges, what aspects about yourself, what routines do you have, or what skills or characteristics are you proud of that you think help you get over these little obstacles and help you reach your little targets and get to success? What are you proud of about yourself that you think helps you get where you are?
Okay, thanks. Great questions. And I just want to say thank you for very thoughtful questions. Well, there's a few things, like I shared, and obviously the people that are listening to this won't know this, but when I did an interview, I talked about that, and part of my brand is called Mental Elixirs. And I like the word elixir because it's an old-fashioned name. It's kind of like from 19th century when they tried to make medicines and stuff like that, and they weren't quite, real. But the thing is, a remedy is not a cure, and because my challenges in life are there is no cure, but there's tools to help me, again, as you say, like develop, a way to live the life that I want to. Well, again, my love for photography is probably as much as anybody who you love as a photographer. That might be National Geographic or fashion, or whoever does photography, like imagery that has that they love what they do because it comes out in the results.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Visual communication, I just love it so much because it allows me to put my insides on the outsides. But when I add it to travel, and that's where my tool comes in, I am so engaged in the environment and the cultures that I'm in that I don't have time to be in that worry, panic of anxiety.
Yeah.
When I have my camera to my eye, and again, a camera, not a smartphone.
There's a difference.
Sorry, I'm from a different generation. I believe in cameras still much more. And that's because I'm focusing on the world around me. A travel photographer is reflecting the world around them.
Yeah.
So when I am I can't help it. When you're in a culture that's so dynamically different than what you have ever, experienced in your, childhood or your native culture, you can't help but just be focused on them. Yeah. So it gets me out of myself. It's like it immediately says, forget it. It slows my breath down. It slows my mind down. And I start focusing on all the positive things about travel and visual communication with it. And everything else goes out the window for me as far as my worries or as far as what's next or future tripping. It's completely in that moment. And enjoying the beauty of their life, their routine, the light, the color, the architecture, whatever it is, everything is so different that you can't help but be like, wow, this is amazing, wow, I can't believe that A, B, and C, and it's just everything about me goes away. I don't think about myself. So travel, as much as it's anxiety-ridden to get on that plane maybe, or get to that place and planning and getting to that hostel or whatever, once I get there, it's all worth the whole mental kind of strain it is on me, because the photography and the with the culture I'm in, it's kind of an elixir. It's a complete elixir for me. It remedies my problems with worry and fear and all of that.
Yeah, and I think
so. As soon as I get to be landed in that place, I'm completely there. So I try to utilize that here and now tool that I have trained myself with photography into my everyday life, where I try to wake up and be like, what am I doing today? Not being like, what is my life going to be a year from now? Or I did this a year ago and I wish I still was doing that. I try to incorporate the here and now into my daily life. And that's what, I have to be honest with you, it has helped me tremendously with my anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
I believe in, as many people do now, they use a lot of Buddha, thought, but it is really, life is the present. It is a gift. It's now, and it's just the truth. So I try to focus on, all right now I'm in an interview, and that's all I need to worry about right now. What comes next, I don't really need to worry about that right now. I'm talking to another human being right now, and I want to give that person my full attention.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of philosophies I use from travel and photography into my day-to-day life.
So being in the moment, I think it's really cool that by focusing on what you're doing right now, you're actually reaching, like, you're doing the best you can, because you're not worrying about, you know, what you should have done better before, or, like, you know, you're not worrying about the past, you're not worrying about what you're going to do next. If you're just focusing on now, then you really are doing the best you can, because being in the moment, you have nothing else affecting what you're saying or what you're doing. And I think with photography, you sound like you found the thing that gets you out of yourself and can find that place where you can be the best you are. And I think for everyone that thing changes, like the thing that kind of takes you out of yourself and just kind of opens up a whole new world for you, changes. And it's lovely that you found something for yourself, and that's photography, that where you can just feel, you know that you'll feel great every time you do it. And yeah, for me, it's like dancing, and every time I dance, I'm just like, I forget about all my worries. And I think it's important for, people to try and find what that is, because some people are like, I don't think I have one, and I refuse to believe that. And I think what's really great about what you do is that thing that makes you feel amazing is actually really useful for other people as well. It's adding value to other people. So you're taking a snapshot of, you're visually communicating something that you think is, really important, and giving that out to the world. So I think combining something that you're passionate about with adding value to the world is the best way that you can develop a business. Which leads me to my next question.
Thank you. Okay.
How far have you got in the? So are you planning to kind of make this a business, or how are you kind of giving it out to the world? Are you doing that yet, or is it still at the blog stage? If people wanted to, make use of what you do, how would they be able to get value from your brand?
Thank you for asking. As a creative, first, it's that's been my biggest challenge, is to find my way to make a business, as you'd say, with what I want to do. And I finally listened to my mother. I'm not saying I don't listen to her, but she did bring up the blogging thing, and I didn't really know what blogging can bring as a business for me. And that's where I started to do the research and be like, yes, I think it would be a good elixir, again, a remedy for my health, because I like to write and I would like to share my vision. So blog in that context with writing and photography is a perfect platform. But I was like, what are people doing, like people from your generation, which I see, doing this? Like, what are they doing to generate money? Where I would see on Instagram, they would have so many followings. I'm like, how are they getting those followings? I mean, obviously they're doing something business-wise that is attracting people to them. And it's, I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, it's amazing how, the people that helped us get started, that they just jump 2 feet in. And I think it's because I think he's an extrovert. So I think he allows just the process to go, where I have to kind of, again, still put my tiptoe into things. So this is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Yes, the blog is planning on helping me become an independent, travel entrepreneur. So what I'm looking to do, which again, I'm still developing all of it. And again, as you probably know, it takes time to get everything going.
Yeah.
Is first, I think you have to build the whole thing, the whole product first, and then promote it. I know the promotion is the big part of it.
Yeah.
Is boosting it with, social media. You have to create maybe a little video or things like that. bottom line, yes, I am definitely looking to do, and again, I think I'm doing a little bit of a buffet, let's say, of things to see what's gonna work. So what I would like to do is, right now I have set up freelance opportunities for myself to see about making money on like Fiverr and Upwork, so I can do creative communication work with people that are looking for work right now. It's a way of me feeling like, you know, I know where the source of possibilities come from. Again, that anxiety, it helps relieve that, you know, unknowing of where the next person's going to come in. But ultimately what I'm looking to do, which is the goal, is create workshops. I want to create workshops, and again, all I need to do is kind of put it on my website at this point, but you know it takes time.
Yeah, it's not easy.
To, again, help people really take true travel photography, as you said, from the inside out, reflect who they are in the world, what they see in front of them, not of them, is what is why people enjoy travel photography. It's not our face in the camera, it's our vision, our heart, our mind, our spirit reflected in that picture. And that's really what travel photography is. It's taking that moment and showing people, hey, wow, that is, oh my God, I would never have seen it that way. And wow, that's such a great detail of that culture or that person that, you know, I want to look at again and again.
Yeah.
And so of course I want to help people understand what travel photography is, what travel photography is about. I have already created, for example, I took an extraordinary amount of hours and time to create like 11 ultimate tips to be a visual storyteller, because I'm a storyteller, not just a snapshot. I like to tell a story of a culture or a story about a person, just like what you're doing with your YouTube. Like, I want to tell stories. So I'm going to create that into an e-book. I would like to sell that for a very affordable price, but I would like to use that as a workbook for a workshop, so that we can do, like, you know, number one, we're going to focus on this, and then kind of, you know, next week go over step 2 and things like that. So I would like to create those kind of workshops where I'm engaged with people like in a way that really want to improve their skills. And I want to do, and it's the same thing, I want to be able to work with, have to be honest, women who, you know, I notice, you know, in my culture, I'm talking about in America, how crippling still the idea of traveling alone is. Traveling as a woman, and with the news, people seem to think that the world is very horrible, but it's not. It's news is a business, and it being that I'm a journalist, I know that there are realities happening out there, but the whole world is not in turmoil. The whole world is not fighting, and I want to be able to help women overcome some of those initial fears about, hey, I want to travel, but I am terrified of it. How are you doing that? And I kind of want to help with that as well. So, you know, those are the kind of things I really want to do. Is I want to offer workshops. I want to do, I guess, those webinars where I can have those moments with people. I'm an authentic listener, just by my personality, as well as being trained as a journalist. And there's not many people out there that take the time to really listen to people. And in order to be a genuine communicator, you have to be a genuine, authentic listener. And I kind of want to offer that to people too. Like, maybe I need to, I don't know yet how to put it out there, but I want to be kind of like a consultant, where people can have that maybe 30 minutes, you know, being like, I love what you're doing, but I want to be able to talk with someone about it. And I kind of want to offer maybe some of that support, because I have been in therapy. I have, you know, I've needed those therapists, you know what I mean? And I have so much to offer to other people, my experiences. So it's not like I'm saying I'm going to give them medication scripts. No, I'm not, you know, I'm not looking to be their doctor, but I would love to be like a support to them. I want to be able to, you know, give them my full attention, my ears and my heart to them, and give them, you know, a moment to, you know, speak out and just be like, this is what's on my mind. How can I? And of course, I want to share with people, yes, you can travel on a hotel. I'm like, no, you just have to be a little bit more creative on how to do it. But I can guarantee you don't need to be waiting till you're retired or have, thousands of dollars in the bank to go and start exploring some of the places that you would like to. So those are the things that I would like to do as a business, and I'm still developing it. I felt that it's important for me to develop the blog and some blog posts and, my Instagram and things like that, so that when people come to see, that the proof is there. I don't want to put out anything yet until people realize, yes, she really does know how to do photography. Like, they don't know me. I have to show them.
Yeah. I
have to show it first and then show the product. And I guess that's what slows me down. And also, I have a little bit of fear. I have to be honest. Oh my God, how do I do this?
Yeah, I understand that totally. You kind of want to put it out there that you do know what you're doing and get most of the experience before you start wanting to ask for money from people before you've even proved how good you are. But I think when you really put your heart and soul into something and you're doing it with so much passion and you're doing it just for the sake of helping people genuinely, and it's not about having a social status or impressing someone, I think people can really feel that from the other side, and it's actually quite a rare thing these days because there's so many different factors influencing what people choose to do with their lives, because some people might do it to get loads of money or to impress their parents because that's what they've always wanted to do. So when people find someone that is doing something just out of pure passion and just from the warmth of their hearts, like you sound like you're doing, people can sense that and they're willing to spend money on something like that. So I have no doubt that you will be successful. And also I think having a vision like that with so much passion, you have a real desire to make it be real, and it's only a matter of time really. Once it's become so real in your head, it's only a matter of time for reality to load, for it to become reality. I've read a book recently and I think you'll really benefit from it. It's called Think and Grow Rich, and I forgot the name of the author, but if you just type that in it will come up. But it's the most amazing book. It's written ages ago, and it's all about the mindset of money, and how real desire, and it gives you all the tools basically for you to add value to the world, but also turn that desire into its physical equivalent, which would be money in today's world. And it's just really good book of getting the right mindset to turn what you love doing into a business, into something that would bring you lots of money that you deserve, not just it's not telling you how to win the lottery. But for anyone watching this, actually, Think and Grow Rich is the most amazing book for anyone wanting to build up a business.
That. I need it.
Yeah, I'm halfway through. I think it's quite a long book. It's on my Kindle, so I can't actually see how thick it is, but it's quite a long book. But just stick with it. But so finally, before we end the interview, I just want to ask: do you have any kind of books or any real important bits of advice, final bits of advice that you wanted to give out, just as kind of pinpoints for anyone watching this? Any books that you've read or anything, any motto that has really helped you through your journey? And if not, that is okay as well.
No, definitely, of course there has been. But let me give me a moment here.
That's okay.
All right. Of course, I need inspiration from those who are living how about this, the philosophy of life that I want.
Yeah.
Yes, I just finished a book, most recent book that I could share about that mentality of doing what, I have to be honest, doing what you love. And again, it's what you said is like, to me, I am a true believer is to follow your passions, whatever they are, and if you don't know them yet, again, to explore those things. And and then people are like, well, I don't know what to explore, and I'd be like, just start with anything. Being like, if you love food, maybe take a cooking class. If you love dancing, take a dance class. If it's whatever. Like, we all as an adult do know one thing about ourselves that we love. And when but people don't acknowledge that as much as other things. But if you really, and to me, it's if you really take a moment to think about your child self and being like, I was curious, you got to go back to that curiosity point. Like, when we were children, we were curious, we tried new things, and then we become an adult, and we kind of lose a lot of cultures.
Yeah, feel like we have to focus.
Kind of snuff out that curiosity because they want you to do something with your life. And there's nothing wrong with doing, like having a job, but we can't forget about being curious about life. And for me, being a traveler and photographer, photographers are curious people by nature. Journalists are curious people. We want to get to know people. We want to search truths in life, and so on and so forth. It's like, I just, first of all, encourage people to find that kernel of that child inside, and go and be curious about something, one thing at this point, because life is about satisfying that thing inside of you. It's about joy. We're supposed to enjoy our lives, and I am wholehearted on trying to find that happiness for myself, because I believe that if I'm happy, then you can share that with others, or whatever it is.
Definitely.
So whatever that thing is that you love so much, we should be sharing that with others. So I encourage people to find that curiosity again. It can be anything. It doesn't have to lead to money. Don't worry. Again, that's a future tripping. Just do something now. It doesn't mean that it's going to succeed in wealth or succeed in your happiness. But if you don't start being curious again, and start getting yourself involved in the things that you enjoy, then what's the point of making money? What's the point of being here if you're not enjoying some aspect of it? So that's why I'm trying to make it a lifestyle. I want my passion for life, the thing that makes my anxiety disappear and the beauty of me be there all the time, is why I'm doing this blog, why I'm going on a journey that I have no idea where this is going to take me. I don't know if this blog thing is going to go in any direction that I am sharing about today. I have no idea. But I have taken upon myself as an adult since the 90s to be curious. I have taken upon new jobs. I've gone and traveled. I have failed. I have moved. I have succeeded. I have all these experiences. That's why I'm saying experience, because I take that curiosity of myself and that, my belief system of not following the path that's expected. I'm trying to live my authentic self. So I try new things all the time, because without experience, I can't gain knowledge. I can't gain knowledge of myself if I like something or not without experiencing it. So I encourage people, that's, I would say, my philosophy, to go and try and experience something that you've never done before. It can be in your neighborhood. You've always wanted to try, let's say, Ethiopian food. Okay, so, go and try that. Go, if you want to cook it, go get the ingredients. Go research and find where you might be able to find that and bring it to your house and try. All I'm saying is, go and experience life. We all fall into a routine, but go and find something that you enjoy and just make it a priority for yourself to do that. As far as one book I'll share, there's so many books like yours that you're talking about. I know that I've read that, and I need to go back to it. But the author of Eat, Pray, Love came out with a book that I read, and I need to quickly look up the full name of it right now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that while I talk.
Okay.
Her name is Elizabeth Gilbert, and she wrote a book about her journey with writing, and what keeps her going with it. But it's called Big Magic. Big Magic. Creative Living Beyond Fear.
Wow.
So that's the book I would share with people. It's about creative living. She uses her journey with writing to help, well, I don't know, to guide us through how to live your creative self. And again, it's not about being a creative. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be an actor. Literally that. But learning how to be creative with your life, learning how to be that person, but you're, again, that fear that we have, because Western culture is always about that fear of failure. And as we're learning, and I think because I know you're a spiritual, person as well, meaning like, you're trying to live that wholehearted self.
Yeah.
Is that we have this fear that there's a shame behind failure which is not a good thing. That's why people don't embrace new ideas, because they're afraid to fail. But it's through our failures that we actually find our way in this world, and the success that we are really, really looking for is allowing ourselves to fall down and to get back up. And those are the type of people like her who inspire me. Brene Brown, who is about vulnerability. Those kind of women inspire me because they have done the work and the experience to share this knowledge with people, that no matter what, they have failed, they got back up and continued, and now they're sharing their wealth of experience and knowledge with everyone else, because they overcame those failures and saw them as opportunities.
Yeah.
So I really hope people, I encourage people to support each other in their failures. Be like, that is awesome that you tried. Go try again. So that's where I think that's where I'm at. Is I really want people to not feel shamed for failing. I want them to celebrate it and say, hey, I tried something new.
I love that. And just if people wanted to find out more about Experient Explorer, do you just want to give like a link to your blog, or I can put it underneath the interview if you want, or any other way that they can find out more about it, because it's very inspiring what you do.
Oh, absolutely. Well, again, I took the time to link myself everywhere that I could possibly link myself. But yes, if you did go to my blog, you will have the links to Facebook, to Instagram, to my travel photography, and my journalism website. They're all at my website, which is experient-explorer.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for that interview. I can feel like a heartwarming sensation just from hearing about everything that you do, and like the way you want to do it as well. And good luck with everything. I think you will be amazing.
Thank you, and same to you.
Thank you very much.
Stay in touch.
Yeah.
Are you on? I'm just curious. On Instagram, or like I'm just saying, like I would like to continue supporting you as well. You know what I mean? Like so.
Oh, thank you. I've just set up a Facebook page. It's called Be Water. I think it's called, if you search Let Us Be Water, all lowercase, joined up. Let Us Be Water. That's my Facebook page. Let Us Be Water. And
okay.
yeah.
I'll do that.
And there it has links to my YouTube channel, my blog, and anything new that I'll write, I'll share it on my Facebook page.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alara.
Thank you very much too. Have an amazing day, because it's like the morning for you, isn't it, still?
Yeah.
Great speaking to you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.